Welcome to Mana's Seal YouTube channel. The previous video link is on the description box or on the top right card. Volume 12. The Paladin of the Holy Kingdom. Steel clashed with steel at high speeds, and the ear-piercing sound of metal echoed all around. Both of them had equivalent arm strength, so when they crossed blades, their attacks and defenses took place simultaneously. Should she be impressed by how Buster could swing such a heavy blade with one hand, or show respect, the Sorcerer King, for wielding a two-handed sword while being a magic caster? This was a super high-level battle of the sword she had never seen before, and Nia was certain that she could not possibly interfere. In order not to get in the way of their fight, Nia slowly shifted behind a piece of cover and hid herself. They're swinging at each other like that, but neither of them is hurt. Speaking of which, the Sorcerer King seems a little too strong. Nia's brain could no longer keep up with the magic caster who could fight with a sword to this extent. Did he use some kind of amazing spell? All Nia could do was attribute it to some form of incredibly magic she had never heard of before. Even so, if this keeps up, there's no doubt that the Sorcerer King will win. No, was he planning to draw out the battle because of that? The undead did not feel fatigue, and they would not be shaken in combat. All of these were unfavorable to Buster. Buster seemed to realize this, because his face started to contort. If he has some sort of trump card. Nia was shocked. The Sorcerer King had suddenly thrown his huge sword at Buster. After that, a hemisphere of light appeared around Buster and blocked the thrown sword. The bubble of light vanished, and the thrown sword had only slightly scratched Buster. This is bad. Nia prepared to rush out from behind her cover. The Sorcerer King was unarmed now. At some point, a jet black halberd had ended up in the Sorcerer King's hands. Buster must have felt the same way as Nia. His eyes were as white as saucers. You didn't ink into spell, how did you do it? And where did that sword you threw go to? I simply cast a silent spell. Don't worry about it. Alright, my subordinate taught me this, but I'm not very confident in my skills. I apologize in advance if I end up fumbling around. The Sorcerer King readied his halberd. He radiated a strange sense of oppression. Warriors often favored weapons within the same broad classes. Swords, axes, maces, that sort of thing. The Sorcerer King used momentum to swing his halberd. He attacked Buster's feet, which were hard to defend with a sweeping motion. This was a technique one could only perform with a long-shafted weapon. Just as Buster brought his sword low to try and block the attack, the halberd suddenly jumped up. It was a feint. This was a move that would require considerable arm strength to perform, but Buster raised his sword to block it in an instant. As expected, the Sorcerer King favored the sword, and he did not seem very skilled with the halberd. Well, he could elegantly execute textbook attacks. There seemed to be something strangely off about his attacks. And even Nia could spot it with her eyes. After blocking the halberd's momentum, Buster leapt back. Sandstorm. The sand particles from within the sword spread out like a wall, rushing towards the Sorcerer King. It had probably obscured the Sorcerer King's vision completely. While she doubted if the Sorcerer King had eyeballs, having one's vision completely obscured blocked was a tremendous disadvantage. Essence Seal Grand Power Strike. One was a martial art Nia had not heard of before, while the other was an advanced technique, a powerful strike that would inflict additional damage. After using both of them, Buster charged out, faster than before. Buster's horn decorations glowed with a bizarre light, and he looked like a shooting star. Weird. The Sorcerer King caught the blow on his halberd. Haha. And Buster laughed. The sound of metal being ground away rang forth. Nia's eyes went wide. Could it be a sunder attack? Sunder attacks directly damaged a foe's weapons, but the amount of damage done was greatly affected by the composition of both weapons and their damage potential. Buster's martial arts were probably intended to strengthen these two attributes. Nia began to panic, but in the next moment, she froze as she saw Buster staring with white eyes. It's unharmed. Buster cried out in shock. What the hell is that weapon? As Buster scrambled back, his expression completely changed, and with no intention of pressing the attack, the Sorcerer King spun his halberd, tracing a beautiful arc in the air. Well, I did make this weapon with my magic, you know. How could it be so easily broken? But weapons made by magic are fragile, right? Oh, it seems you've had experience fighting opponents with magically created weapons, but it's dangerous to be bound by such a fixed worldview, no? In other words, there might be opponents who can make weapons which you can't break. The Sorcerer King let go of his halberd. The halberd then vanished, as though it had melted into the air. The same thing must have happened with the greatsword from just now. After that, the Sorcerer King made a grasping motion, and now he had a black longsword in each of his hands. Now then, what will you do? Don't tell me that attack was your winning strategy. Can you help me gain more experience? The Sorcerer King took a step forward, shortening the distance between them. If you've got any more trump cards, it'd be better if you hurried up and used them, no? I'm not kind enough to let a useless enemy live. Phew. What are you saying, undead one? Indeed, I'm very impressed by how you managed to fully defend against my attack. Very well done. However, wasn't that because you were focused on defense? I know you won't get tired, so you feel that you can beat me if you grind me down. He saw through it. Nia felt nervous again. Even she had noticed it. Busser, a far better warrior than herself, could not have failed to notice that. I see. So that was what you thought. Indeed, you would be correct to think so. But unfortunately, that was not the case. The Sorcerer King spread his arms and approached. The swords in his hands vanished like smoke. Watch. Busser had already stabbed that unprotected body faster than Nia could shout. And then... what? Busser frantically, repeatedly swung his sword. Why? What is this? He shouted with every swing he took. That was because the Sorcerer King was unharmed despite taking every blow. In that case... Busser braced his shield and used a martial art. Yet, the Sorcerer King remained unmoved despite taking a shield bash. Instead, it was Busser who stumbled back. Why? Well, why? Humans had a hard time reading demi-human expressions, but right now it was very easy. His face now showed terror and despair. Martial arts are an unknown technique to me. Did martial arts derive from skills, or are they warrior's magic? Even until now, I still don't know. Still, don't you feel that when fighting an opponent of equal ability, victory might be decided by experience and knowledge of martial arts? That's why I will take your attacks head on. However, you've shown them all to me, haven't you? The Sorcerer King shrugged in an exaggerated fashion, and at the same time he plucked one of the 9 rings he wore from his finger. He did nothing else. That was the only move the Sorcerer King had made. However, a wave of unnaturally frightening and cold air filled the surroundings. Nia hurriedly looked to the sky. She had almost thought that the sun in the sky had frozen and shattered. However, the sun was still there, shedding its radiance. Then could this frigid and jet-black emanation be something released by the Sorcerer King? Could a single individual do something like this? This is the Sorcerer King. This is the true form of the magic caster who slew an army of tens of thousands. And now it seems, there is no longer any need to fight you. He stepped leisurely towards Busser. Busser, on the other hand, took a trembling step back. It was like he was being pushed away by an invisible pressure radiating from the Sorcerer King. Busser could feel that abnormal presence more keenly than Nia. He clearly understood the fact that the Sorcerer King was not an opponent he could fight. The way his first stood on end proved that. Wait, hang on. No, wait a second. I'm begging you, just wait a bit. Busser raised his right hand and let the sword he was holding fall to the ground. Sir, surrender. I surrender. I have news about Jeldabaoth. How about it? That should be very useful, right? It'll definitely be useful. I see. Also, there's more. You want to fight Jeldabaoth, right? I'm much stronger than human beings. I can arrange to bring my tribe along to help you fight Jeldabaoth, that piece of shit Jeldabaoth. We'll go in first. How about that? Oh. Wait, please wait. That's not all. If you want, I can give you all of my collected treasure. That ought to be enough for my life, right? Is that all? Are you done making your pitch? Oh, wah, eh? Busser frantically looked around, and then looked at the Sorcerer King once more. Yes. No, that's not it. I have more, much more besides that. I can help you get whatever you want, no. I'll definitely get it for you. Really. Please believe me. What I really want is something you will never be able to obtain. Nia sensed the irritation in the Sorcerer King's tone. Naturally, Busser, as the one confronting him, must have felt it even more strongly. Wait a minute. Seriously, wait a bit. Oh, ha. He was laughing like a servile minion. The kingly attitude he had demonstrated when he had faced them at the plaza was nowhere to be seen. I'm sorry if I said the wrong thing. No, I apologize. Really. It was my fault. Really. Then, how about it? This one can be useful to you. How stupid I was to make an enemy of the great undead king. Therefore, if you would give me a chance to make up for that mistake, I would. You won't regret it. Busser got on both knees and clasped his hands as he begging for mercy. What a pathetic pose that was. Yet Nia did not think that way at all. No, she had already accepted that this was the proper action an enemy ought to be taking when faced with the true form of the Sorcerer King. At the same time, she vividly recalled the words of that Naga they had met in the Sorcerer's Kingdom. A wise man would immediately throw himself at his feet and beg for mercy. In that case, the fate of those who did not kneel right away was. I see. Well, I like those who understand they were wrong and work hard to correct their mistakes. That means. Busser's face lit up with joy. However, that joy was snatched away in an instant. However, if I let you become one of my subordinates, Pistania and Negrito would not be happy. Also, be at ease. I will not do anything wasteful like only using this skull. I'll make full use of every part of you. Now die, the Sorcerer King said as he erected a slender fingerbone. No, I don't want to die. Wait, I'm begging you, please, I'm begging you. I still have some value. I'm useful enough to make you happy. Really. Believe me. All things which live must die. The difference is in how soon or late they meet their fate. No. Don't look at me that way. Don't kill me. Bussa rose to his feet, then turned around and ran. Nia stared, dumbfounded at how fast a living creature could run when its demise was at hand. However, the Sorcerer King's spell was faster still. How boring. Death. Nothing happened. There was no big explosion, no cataract of roaring lightning. Bussa simply fell to his knees and keeled over. That was all. Well, it's a shame about the information. Well, that's how it is. Do you object, Ms. Baraja? No, not at all. Your Majesty's decisions are flawless. Really? Well then, go find the paladins. Tell them I've taken care of the Demihumans leader. Although, this is kind of bad.